Okay, so let's get back to the geometry node layout, and we will add the uninsulated copper ends. So let's dial back with the count to say to 5. And also another thing that I will do is to actually modify the curve a bit to see both ends in the view, in the viewport. I can also hide this window to have a bigger area to display the model. Okay, so we will add cylinders to each individual points of the Bezier curves that we have already previously generated. So let's add a cylinder which we can generate in the geometry nodes. The radius, we will actually feed some coefficient of the strand diameter, and also the depth of the cylinder will be calculated based on the strand diameter. So we will add, actually let's do another thing. We will add another group input to separate the geometry nodes a little bit. We will have this part dedicated to the generation of the individual curves for each strand, and now let's make another part that will be dedicated to the generation of the uninsulated ends. Okay, so we will add a map node. Okay, we will multiply the strand diameter by 0.5 to obtain the radius, which will be the same as the radius of the strand, which we don't want. We want it a little bit smaller, so we will again multiply it by some coefficient like 0.6. Okay, let's see what we'll do. Another utility that we will use is a viewer. We will plug the geometry into the viewer. See, click this little eye icon to see actually the current geometry that's being generated. If we click it off, we will see back the strand that we have already generated. So let's get back to our cylinder. So let's feed the radius here, and also add another math node, and we will multiply the strand diameter by different coefficient. Let's set it to multiply. Okay, let's feed it into the depth, and let's set it like 2. Okay, let's see where we are. We are at the point of origin. Okay, here we have our uninsulated end. Okay, we are good. Another thing that we need to do is to decrease the count of the vertices to like 12. That's I think enough. And also another thing that we will do is to reduce the count of the vertices, or the subdivision or the resolution of the curved circle that we are using as a profile for the flat cable. Let's set it to 12 as well. We didn't even notice that anything happened. It's unnecessary to have a high resolution to have a strain on the computer, on the machine. Okay, so get back to the uninsulated ends. Okay, we have it finished with the dimensions, and now let's actually delete the viewer, and let's actually place it on the end of the curve. And one more thing that I will do, I think I will move both the ends back to the origin to actually have it centered a little bit. Okay, so let's place the uninsulated end on the ends, and we will use it again by using instances on points. And as a points, we will use the already generated Bezier curves. So we'll plug it here, and we'll use the mesh as instances. We will add another node called join geometry, which does what it says it does. It joins multiple geometries into single one that we can feed into the output. So let's plug this one here, and we have nothing. Let's plug the strand or the flat cable and the cylinders. Okay, we have them now placed at the ends, but in a bad direction. So actually, we need to transform it to rotate them. We'll rotate them by 90 degrees on the y-axis. We are almost there. We just need to align them to the tangent of the curve. So let's add another utility which is called align Euler to vector. As the source vector for the alignment, we will use a curve tangent, and such a node already exists, and it's called exactly like it is, curve tangent. Okay, so let's plug in the vector, and let's rotate, or let's plug the rotation into the rotation input of the instances on points, and we have them. We have them placed correctly. The other thing actually is that the center of origin of the cylinders is in the middle. So we actually have part of the uninsulated ends inside of the cable. We will fix that. So let's actually transform it. Let's add another math node, and we need to transform it on the x-axis. Let's see what it does. We will move it by 0. That's actually too much. 0.02. Okay, we have it here. Okay, this is one end, but it actually moved the other instances in incorrect way. So we will have to address it. We will have to make a setup that will place the instances on one endpoint, and instances that will mirror by making minus 0.02, or not by 0.02, but by a distance that we will specify on the other end. Okay, so the geometry needs to be moved by half of the height. So we added the geometry node. We will set it to multiply, and we will feed this value, which we are feeding into the depth. We'll multiply it by 0.5. And in order to feed it into the translation, we need to add the combine xyz node, which will create the vector from individual coordinates. We'll feed it into the x and plug it here. Okay, we have it correctly placed now, but just on one side. The other end is actually inside of the cable. So let's address that. We will select the points on which we want to place the instances. So let's add a node that's called endpoint selection, and let's plug it here. Nothing happened because we didn't choose anything. Actually, the way this works is we will specify. Actually, the curve, how we made it, has only 2 points, start point and end point. The curve can be actually composed of many points, and how this works is it selects a certain number from the beginning and from the end. So if we have like 6 points, if we set it to 2 and this as well to 2, it will create actually it will select the first 2 points and the last 2 points. So since we have only 2 points, we will use it as 1 and this one as 0, and it's actually the other way around. So this one is the endpoint, so we'll use this and we will set this to 0. That means this will place the instances here, but it won't place it here. Now actually we need to make another instances that are placed on the starting point, but that are transformed in a different way. So let's add another instances on points by Control C, Control V. we will transform the cylinder in a different way. We have to plug the geometry input. And if we place the instances, we will also use the source of the point, the curve that we have already created. Sorry. That. Nope, once again. Okay. And we will again feed the output of the instances to the geometry. And again, we are placing it actually on 2 points with some transformation which is incorrect. We have again to plug in the align vector, align Euler to vector to the rotation. Now we have it placed. Now we have it rotated in a correct direction. We just need to address the translation. And actually the translation is the same as the translation of the first ones, just in the opposite direction. And we will achieve this by using another math node and multiplying the translation by -1. So let's set it to multiply. Let's feed this value, set it to -1, add additional node, combine XYZ. Okay. Let's plug this value into the X and the vector into the translation. And here we are. We have the uninsulated ends placed correctly on both ends of the curve. Okay, so now if we rotate the end a little bit, yes, it's behaving correctly. Okay, great. Another thing which I want to get rid of is the faceted ends. So let's actually add another node which is called set shade smooth. Okay, we will feed the cylinder from here, and we will shade smooth the sides. So let's select this one and feed it here and here. Now we have the ends are shaded flat, and the sides the code of the cylinder is shaded smooth. Okay, and also what we want to do is to apply material to it, so we will add one more set material. Here it really doesn't matter where we plug it. We can plug it right to the output of the cylinder, so we don't have to replug back the two connections. So let's put it here. Let's go to material tab. We will add new material. Let's put it here. Let's name it copper. We will make it metallic, 0 on the specular, and let's change the base color to something copperish like this orange red. Okay, and let's actually assign the material copper. Okay, now, sorry, if we change it to rendered view, we have the copper ends. Let's actually tune up the material and the scene setup a little bit more. So let's go to the shading tab. Let's center on the cable and on the ends a little bit. Change the view to the rendered. I will change the world properties. Let's change the color to environment texture, and I will select the default Blender files, which is on C, program files, Blender Foundation, Blender 3.4, which is the version I use. In the data files, let's select Studio Lights folder, world, and let's set sunrise as the environment. Okay, and let's tune up the copper material a little bit. I use the default roughness of 0.5, so let's actually change it to something smaller like 0.25. Okay, I am using Eevee as a renderer, so let's also change something in Eevee, which is I want to enable screen space reflections for the metals, or not just for the metals, but for all the materials. And let's also add bloom and ambient occlusion, which will add a bit of a depth to the models. Okay, so this is all for this part, and we will continue by adding the connectors in the next one. So stay tuned.